Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. This is your Z107.7 Local News for Monday, October 6th, 2025. It's the sixth day of the federal shutdown, and as of Monday morning, there haven't been any announced changes to the federal workers who have been furloughed due to the shutdown. The Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center posted a notice on their social media on October 1st stating that, quote, the most recent appropriations for the Department of War expired at 11:59 EST on September 30th, 2025. Military personnel will continue in a normal duty status without pay until such time as a continued resolution or appropriations are passed by Congress and signed into law. Civilian personnel not engaged in expected activities will be placed in a non-work, non-pay status, unquote. Emails sent to the United States Office of Management and Budget by Z107.7 asking for the impacts of the shutdown on the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center were not replied to as of Monday morning. As for our public lands, according to contingency plans published by the Department of the Interior immediately preceding the shutdown, 9,296 of the 14,500 Department of Interior employees have been furloughed due to the shutdown. The Department of the Interior is responsible for the National Park Service and the Bureau of Land Management. Joshua Tree National Park remains open with law enforcement present and a limited number of employees providing information at front gates, but they're not currently collecting fees for entering the park. A standard vehicle entrance pass into Joshua Tree is $30 for the day. The Trump administration has said they plan to use the shutdown for mass terminations and layoffs. On Sunday, President Trump said that the layoffs were happening, quote, right now, unquote, although as of Monday morning, there haven't been any announced. President Trump has shared a video calling United States Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought the Grim Reaper. Vought said that last week that mass layoffs will begin in a day or two. Yucca Valley's crack and slurry construction continues this week. That's all the construction you're seeing on connecting roads around town. Those road closures for Monday, October 6th are as follows. Ilata Avenue from Pueblo Trail to Anaga Trail, Warren Vista Avenue from Pueblo Trail to Anaga Trail, Lupine Drive from Yucca Trail to Primrose Drive, Primrose Drive from Lupine Drive to Airway Avenue, and Hilton Avenue from State Route 62 to Sunny Slope Drive. Detours will be provided for all the affected routes. The construction continues all week, so tune in each day for your traffic updates right here on Z107.7 News. The Yucca Valley Town Council meeting for Tuesday, October 6th has been canceled. The next meeting of the Yucca Valley Town Council will be on Tuesday, October 21st. The Twentynine Palms Planning Commission meeting on Tuesday, October 6th will revolve mainly around a study session, and here's Annalise Kuiper with more.
After public comments, announcements from the Commission and their reports on meetings and events attended, the Community Development Director Keith Gardner will give an updated report. A study session will ensue regarding the temporary use permit. Typically, a temporary use permit is required for a farmer's market, a circus, arts and crafts sidewalk events, etc. Each event may be no longer than 7 consecutive days and may not occur more than 4 times a year. Some changes to the temporary use permit are being proposed. For a commercially zoned property, it is suggested that events may run for a maximum of 28 days, with no limit on the number of events. For residentially zoned properties, it is being proposed that a maximum of 4 events be allowed per calendar year. As the development code is not clear, it is being suggested that the number of events be limited per property, not per applicant. Next, the Commission will discuss co-op gardens and greenhouses. Clarification is being sought in which land use districts co-op gardens would be permitted and under which process they would be reviewed. Should a greenhouse be allowed as a primary use, and should it be subject to architectural design guidelines? Located at 6136 Adobe Road in Twentynine Palms, the meeting is tomorrow and begins at 5 p.m. The public is encouraged to attend. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
The San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors meets on Tuesday at 10 a.m. in San Bernardino. The meeting includes a closed session regarding ongoing litigation and then opens up to the public for a hefty consent agenda consideration along with memorial adjournments and multi-jurisdictional items. You can attend remotely or in person. We'll have links to that along with a full agenda at our website, Z107.7FM.com. The 28th Annual Morongo Basin Orchid Festival was held this last weekend. If you attended the event, but you still want to make sure that your orchids stick around for next year, Chris Gubler of Gubler's Orchids was on the Z107.7 Up Close show when host Gary Daniel asked him about orchid care. Here's a bit from their conversation.
What are the number one thing that people do wrong when they get an orchid home?
They overwater it. Orchids are older plants. Usually a first-time flowering orchid's 4 years, maybe 5 years old. So people want to take better care of it. Well, their idea of taking better care of it is to water it more. And then
it's like overfeeding your dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And instead of like the dog gets fatter, the roots start to die, and then the plant begins to wither. So you think it needs more water, and that's usually the end of that. So,
how much water do I give my orchids, Chris Gubler?
It's a loaded question, but it varies by the time of the year. Water is a critical component because it's what makes the sugar in the plants. It's a key component. So during the summer, about every 7 days, 7 to 10 days if it's in the sphagnum moss. During the winter time, you probably go 10 to 12 days.
Okay. Yeah. So do you soak it and then leave it alone for 10 to 12 days, or?
Yeah. That's the number one thing. The second thing is they don't give it enough light. And light is really important for the health of the plant to make its sugars and to make it strong. And if you put it, let's say, in a north-facing window, you won't get quite the results as if you put it in a room that has more light.
Chris Gubler was just on the Up Close show this last Friday, and we'll have a link to their full conversation at our website, Z107.7fm.com. And save the date for an upcoming event that will have you sipping cocktails and crafting literary creations, all in the spirit of helping out Joshua Tree National Park. Here with more is Jeff Harmatz.
If you're like me, you enjoy a cocktail and love making zines. On October 12th, you can do both, all in the name of raising money to help Joshua Tree National Park. Educator and naturalist Paisley Ramstead is hosting a sip and zine craft workshop. Zines are little miniature magazines and can be made by experts and novices alike. The program is held in conjunction with the Joshua Tree National Park Association's Desert Institute. Ramstead will lead attendees on a brief instructional talk about how to fold a 6-page zine, then invite everyone to use what she calls her massive hoard of collected nature magazines, vintage field guides, and photo books to create their own pocket-sized nature zine. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks will be available from the Tiny Pony, who is hosting the event. Tickets are available now at a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. They cost $25 and all proceeds benefit the Joshua Tree National Park Association. The event begins at 4 p.m. on October 12th. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.
And that's your local news for Monday. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. More Morongo Basin residents get their local news from Z107.7 than any other source. Reporting out of Joshua Tree, California, alongside the award-winning Z107.7 News Team, I'm Robert Hayden.